Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tina, and it is so great to be here with you. All right, I'm going to just make a minor camera adjustment. I noticed, there we go. Sorry about that when I went. Notice my camera is not fully done. And, okay, there we go. Sorry, I got distracted for a second. Okay, so I'm here to put one of my kits together. We have our launch is coming in just one day. So tomorrow, the 21st of May, 2025, we are launching all of our new kit series. We got a lot of feedback. I've always done pre-done workshops and everything, but doing these quick kits, these really quick kits, I wanted this line to be top-notch and fun, very creative, very different. I didn't want them to be, all simple layouts that you could just put together by yourself. This one here is a lot of fun for me because one of the suggestions I had was big, um, like big images, decorations, if you will, embellishments for the layout, and that someone really liked that. And I was like, oh yeah, I love that. So I'll totally do that. All right, these are all the pieces in the kit. I'm going to move this aside because I am going to add in a little background stamping. I always say with these kits, adding some background stamping is just the best way to use stuff out of your stash and add some stuff. Just want to grab one of my background mats. There we go. All right, we'll put that there because I'm going to do some stamping off. All right, after I lay it out, I can see where I'm going to want my background stamping. I'm going to do some background stamping in lemon, which is darker than the yellow that's here. I'm doing that intentionally so I can have multiple shades of yellow. I'm using a really old one. I will keep this on my station for maybe a month, and then I swap it out with another background stamp. Another thing I want to suggest is before you just buy more and more stamps because you see them being used, a great idea is to go look in your existing stamps. Look at this. So you may have this in your sympathy stamps. This was one that I did a lot of sympathy cards with. And you can see here, but also these little flowers and all, they add a lot to background stamping, bringing in more colors and everything. So shop your stash first. I'm going to remove this first one and just kind of move that over. And then I'm going to go ahead and start adding some of this yellow. I have really just no rhyme or reason to how I add my background stamping. I just do it very sporadically. I add a little bit of color and that's it. And then I do like to kind of bring in darker colors. I'm stamping right on top to give myself more on some of these. I like to bring in additional colors using smaller. I love to do hearts or anything like that. Now I have to tell you guys, I have the cutest bug stamp and think cut set that I was dying to add, but I'm going to stick with just a little bit of some candy apple when I get there. And I'm going to call it. All right, let's go ahead and flip this over. And I'm going to go ahead and put these pieces on first since I have them ready to go. All right. Another thing that I think I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this with a black marker. I think it's going to make it stand out just a little bit more. This is just I have broad tip markers that I buy just for this. I've been doing this for a really long time. The marker actually works better after you've gotten it nice and worked in and you get a little line. It's like a groove that will go across your marker. But until then, I have to go nice and slow as I go. Okay, so this will give me a little bit more. I'm only going to do the white in this kit. Just this big white piece. I'm not going to do all the pieces. I did think about doing the ladybug pieces as well. And hopefully I don't change my mind on that. Sometimes I don't know until I lay it down. There we go. Let's lay one down and see what we think. I'm going to do the ladybug pieces. I had a feeling that I would want to, which means I'm going to do the one on the other page. I'm going to go a little bit quicker. There we go. It's just going to make, this is such a great idea. When you have white on white, it really does add a little something to it. I've been doing this for, I don't know, years, and it's just a favorite technique of mine. Okay, let's grab that one. Then we'll get that one all done up as well. All right. We are just back from our first family vacation in quite a few years. And as I got to dive right back into all of these kits, it really gave me so many good ideas. The sketches on these kits are so good. I cannot wait to change them up with some personal requested layouts of my own. All right, so you're looking at about 1/4 of an inch all the way around on this, and it is going to go up underneath of that 6 1/4 by 4 1/4 mat. So I'm going to keep, a little bit less of spacing. I did 1/4 of an inch all the way around here so that it would frame it nicely. But for these, I'm going to use a little bit less of a space in between the two. I would say not quite. In between that, 1/8 and 1/4. There we go. You can't go wrong though. You get to place this. These kits are very forgiving. All the sketches have been chosen to be very forgiving. Oh, and able to redo them. Let me get you. So this is a 10 by 10 that I'm working off of with a 1 1/4 by 1 1/4 strips. I have 4 of the strips going up, but even though I'm only using 4 of the strips going up, think about doing the entire thing and spacing it out using multiple papers. I think that would look fabulous. All right, I'm going to swap this over and bring our 12 by 12 background piece in. I love these papers, and when you guys see the embellishments on these, I hope you laugh and you think they are so much fun. This paper is super cute, just rainbows, those little bugs that are in there, and the butterflies. I love it. I really like the plaid and the colors of the red, the yellow, and the green that are in this. I really like those. You have those tiny little pops of blue in the pad that match the sky setting on the other side. So they're really good. Okay, this piece here is 6 inches by 11 and a half. And so I kind of want to put it at the 9. I'm going to center this one. So it'll be at the 9 or the 3, depending on how you're lining yours up. And then this is a 1/2 inch. This is that gorgeous, gorgeous mini dot that I love so much. It just looks like beautifully embossed paper. Okay, there we go. Today is a busy day over here. We have machines going. I am so thankful I get to take a break and do some crafting. All right, let's go ahead. Let me get my big runner out for this. This is a lot more adhesive. I'm a lot faster with this. There we go. That's what I usually use. I use the ATG when I'm doing my own crafting, but really it just became that it was very large to have on camera and next to me, and it's kind of clunky and loud. 1 inch all the way around. There we go. Look at this. This is super cute. I think this is a great spot to put a personalized title. You can also put a little picture or something in there. I'm going to go ahead and grab my color chart. And the red that I want is a lighter red, so I'm going to grab the dark red blend from my Spectrum Noir markers. All right, now for this, I don't want to color on top of, I can't get it. I got to slide. There we go. I don't want to color on top of my work. I'm going to go ahead and switch to this, and I'm coloring on a hard surface. Okay. And this has layers of hearts on it. Because they all have a doodle line. I'm going to stick to the very center if I can. You know what? I kind of like them colored on the doodle line now. I'm going to go back and do that. Now that I did one accidentally, I actually like it. There we go. And our third one, and this is just the lightest of that dark red blend marker. I think it's going to be a nice red match for cute little ladybugs. I'm a little outside the lines there, but so's my life. Ta-da! Okay, there we go. And you can personalize this or leave it as is. It's super cute. This is a new little image that I have pulled in, and I've started using it on a couple of upcoming projects, and I really like it. Some have words in the center and some do not. All right, so now our 6 1/4 by 4 1/4 photo mat. And I just want to make sure that it comes down at least over one line, because then it really highlights that background stamping. But I've kind of placed it so I have that little bit of the white plaid cross going on there. All right, I am going to bring in some candy apple, but I'm figuring I want to go ahead and put on some extras. This is going to go on here. I have these are going to go on, and you can tuck these under. You can even trim them if you like. I want to make sure that this one comes all the way down to the bottom. I want it to cross all of them. I'm leaving some of the papers that I have because this really provides a lot of layering. You'll see a lot more layering if you cross papers. Now this one I'm going to move so that the center point on my dovetail is lined up with my side. Wherever you decided to put this little side mark, it's center of my dovetail. And then I have that so that it crosses, so you can see that the paper is all underneath of it. Once again, just the layering, 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 layering. Okay, this is going to go here for my photo, and I'm going to love it. I'm going to start working on this side. We have a lot of details to add to this when we're done. Okay, for this, super easy. Let's grab some glue on this one. I've worked with these banners now, and I really like them, and I've done little things on the banner, and I did think about putting some ladybugs on this banner, but I decided that when it was done that the mini dots I thought were super cute on this, and you're just going to layer. I have my banner piece upside down. There we go. It will fit when you have the right side. There we go. It just lays right on top. All of these go the same way. When you see this banner piece, it gives you that banner all the way across, so we get that extra pop of red. This is going to go on foam tape for me. Let's grab some foam tape. I have lots and lots of foam tape. I'm always using up foam tape. When I started organizing my craft room, I will say I found more foam tape to use up than I possibly even thought I had. There we go. All right, I'm going to move this aside. There's some more of that ladybug. In your kit, you're also going to find this journaling block that has been created for you. You can leave that off if you would like. All right, let's go ahead and just do the exact same thing. We'll line this up at the 3 or the 9, depending on which way you're measuring. This is such a fun layout. All right, let's make sure my grid is where I want it to be. I always work from mat to mat. It keeps all my stuff exactly where I want it. All right, so we're going to do 9, 3, there we go. Grab that embossed. This one is apparently getting glue because it was right next to me. There we go. I do prefer, more often than not, tape runners over liquid adhesive, in particular when I'm scrapbooking. I think they're more forgiving if you do have to lift them up. If you use glue and you needed to lift this up, going to be hinky. But if you have a tape runner and you just use the smaller little dots on those like I use here, you can sometimes pry those up. So that's professional advice from a person who makes a lot of mistakes. Okay, so for this piece here, it is 9.5 by 4.5. So 9.5 by 4.5 is this one here. And I am going to put that in at 1 1/4 from the top and bottom. And it's about 1 inch in. Okay, and a lot of this is getting covered up. I know that it's there. See, You would think that I did it purposely for the video, but I didn't. I want to do the black marker on this, but as you can see, I was able to lift that. Liquid glue is really not going to be your friend in that situation. I just want to trim this with that black marker as well so that, you know, I'm consistent with these pieces. Probably something most people would not even notice. Sometimes there are things that I don't even notice. All right. Okay, so we're going to stick with that same measurement for our little bugs. And we are at about 1 1/4, 1 1/4 from the top or the bottom. And then we're about 1 inch in from the side, so that once again, it's so that we can see all the layering of the paper. Okay, the photo mats are both 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. There we go. And you can see those little bugs peeking out, top and bottom. Just the 1/8 of an inch all the way around. The journaling is going to go in the middle. Now, if you want to make your story stand out a little bit more, a nice tip is to do your journaling and then foam tape it. Another thing, this is another piece that you could definitely use on the marker. I put a teeny tiny piece of adhesive on here so I can pull this off later when I'm ready to use it. Pre-cut or pre-made layouts are a cornerstone to my scrapbooking. All right, so now we have our piece here, and I want to make sure that I get it on, and I'm overlapping a little bit with this. I think I might go the other way, or you could have your piece over just a little bit more. Okay, but you could have this piece over a little bit more if you'd like. All right, I'm going to slide it under, and I'm going to have it about, I have a giant bug I have to worry about placing on here, so I want to make sure that I get this kind of where I want it. All right, I'm going to say I'm over a little more than 1/4 here, and then I'm kind of centered at the top and the bottom. There we go, and I'll just slide my photo right in there, because now is the time that we are going to start getting in lots of layering. Okay, this one here, the banner, you can actually put as long as it touches. So you can bring it down really low, or you can bring it up high. I want it to touch the paper, so I don't want to put it, you know, all the way up here. I want this to come down and overlap on the papers. I want to have a lot of things touching each other at this point. Okay, so there we go. There's that piece. All right, now let's look at all the embellishments that you get in this kit. All right, I was not sure if I was going to want to put this on foam tape or not, and I think I'm going to say no. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put this on. I want to cover the whole end of that dovetail. There we go. It's a little high for me. I'm going to move it down a little bit more, kind of more to the corner there. There we go. All right, now there are so many. I did put some of these on foam tape. I had a lot of fun with this one. You can obviously tell. Cute as a bug. And these are on foam tape. How cute are these little guys? All right, so the layout theme is obviously cute as a bug. This is going to fit right in here just like this with our little bug. We have so many cute things. I'm going to start right here with this one. One of the things that I want to do with my cute as the bug is I want to add some background stamping to this. So I'm going to use the same background stamping, or the background stamp that I used, and I'm going to kind of do a little bit of that. And if I want, I'm going to add a little bit more. I'm going to kind of go over it. I'm going to want a lot more of this than the red. Okay, before I attach this, I'm going to want to bring in my candy apple. There are different ones in the stamp that I'm using, and what I like to do is use a broader splotted one and then bring in smaller ones. I have this one here pulled. I have this one here pulled. I'm only going to be using that one. So just a smaller one. This could be little hearts. really shop your stash. Okay, I'm going to just stamp one off just to get my stamp nice and primed here. All right, there we go. And one for the other side. There we go. Bless you. All right, hard to sneeze. That looks super cute, and that's really going to bring in our additional little color that we're going to add. So I'm just in the candy apple right off camera, and I'm just turning that little splat. There we go. I kind of would like one to come off on this side. So if you ever get in this situation, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a piece of scrap paper. I only need a small one, and I'm just going to kind of slide it under just like that. And then this way I can do that little off technique, and I don't have to worry about messing up my layout. I'll throw that on the floor for pickup later. That's how it works here. Okay, so now this bug is too cute. I can't stand how cute this bug is. All right, I'm going to get my bug on. This is going on just regular adhesive, mainly because all my bugs are on foam tape. But you can see here what I've done is I made sure that it's kind of across the red, across this and down, layering, just making sure of all that. All right, I'm going to peel some foam tape here. I have a lot of foam tape to peel. I think I just peeled the one that I was not supposed to peel. I did. I'm going to peel these two off of this one and just kind of put it back on this one. There we go. Now I can peel the rest. I want to be able to slide my pictures underneath, nice, easy, and breezy. And also, if you use a lot of foam tape like I do, you don't really need to peel it all off. All right. Here we go. Now I get one shot at this because that is a lot of foam tape. It's so cute. I can't stand how cute this. All right. And this request came from one of our group members, so I'm pretty excited about that. And I hope you enjoy catching your fireflies and all the things that this would have. This one's really cute. There's a little snail that's going to go over here. And I wanted these to be nice and big because I wanted them to stand up. Look at all of them. I wanted them to stand up to kind of everything else that was in this layout. You also have some stars to work with just to add a little bit. Love the photo. Got to have a little butterfly. And you'll notice that the bugs are all different colors, just bringing in more colors. I had a lot of fun with that, just doing all these pops of color. And then now we have these small. Now you can put stars. You have enough to put stars if you want to decorate your banner, just like this. And then you have a couple of other stars as well. All right, let's go ahead and put all these down. All right, I'm just going to peel the bottom of my camera because I will need to slide my picture in here. There we go. Very cute. Our little snail. And I think it would also be fun to put names next to all the bugs. I thought about that, and I thought, how cute would it be if you named all the bugs, or whoever you're scrapbooking, your child, your grandchild, ask them to name the bugs, and then you could put the little names next to all of them. I thought that would be cute too. There we go. I'm going to put that butterfly right there so I can really see my background stamping, just not peeling where it's going to overlap my photo. So cute. And you can see all the bugs peeking out from the back. Let's do this little guy. Okay. I don't know. This one's really cute. I feel like this one is my favorite, but it might be because it's the biggest. So it's just screaming at me like, here I am, here I am. All right. I do want to place my stars I kind of like them on the banner. I like that they're a little bit darker so they stand up to some color variations. There we go. We have multiple yellows and all on this. I think I'm going to go ahead and add those to my banner. Sometimes I like to add little extra things like stars or hearts or anything like that. And then as I lay my layout out, I can decide where I want to put them all. This is coming together. So cute. Well, it should be because it's cute as a bug. So, all right. This is one that I just hope I find pictures for. I'm going to put that right there. You can even take the stars and add them on top of your photos if you would like. Okay, I like it. I like it a lot. I do want to pick this one off. There we go. And I'm going to add this small star to this side as well, I think, just so that I don't have all my stars on one side. I'm just not sure where I want it. Let's go ahead and, because I have this great little embellishment cluster over here. Which is another reason why I use the tweezers, because I have large fingers, so this really does help me kind of see everything. I don't want anything to take away from my butterfly, just looking. Okay, they're all going on the one side because I really like it right there. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to add some bling. These kits are so perfect for you to just grab and pull some bling out of your stock. I kind of had a feeling when I was working on this where I might land on bling, but I didn't want to. Normally I just pull out matching bling, and there's a lot of colors in here, so you could go with the green or the yellows. There's pinks, there's reds. You could add light blue everywhere to bring that in. I kind of had a feeling that I might land on some red, so I do have my red that I'm trying to use up, which is this here. You can see I have some hearts and some stars left on that. One thing I will say is these kits are definitely making it easy. And I got this as a giftie. Thank you, Nicole, at a little crop thing I had. So I'm still using those up as well. All right, we're going to go ahead and add some of our red bling. Now my red bling is meant to be placed everywhere, like scattered. That's how I really like to do it. Let's get another heart down here. I'm going to go with a medium. I think proportion wise, yeah, I'm going to like the medium better. There we go. And a small bling with that. There we go. And my cute as a bug. And I already have these little pops of red, so I don't need to add a lot more. All right, a little heart right up here on my journaling. I'm going to go with 2 smalls instead. After looking at it, I like the idea of putting 2 little smalls. And remember, my goal is to kind of use up my bling. I have a whole new line of bling that I'm looking forward to using, but I still think it's great to kind of use what you have as you're working through. Not to mention, you know, we're crafters, not collectors. All right. This bling is a little bigger than I thought it was going to be. So I'm going to place it carefully. Here we go. And second one, I think we'll go up there. I'm just going to be placing these in 2s instead of 3s or the normal triangles that I do. Try new things. It's good for you. This one's going to be kind of tucked behind to hide the size of it. And then one there. I'm going to do the same little trick down bottom. Just have to decide what side I want them on. I don't want to tuck it, you know, on his little butt. I mean, as cute as it is. So there we go. And these will help with the size a little bit. I actually think I'm going to prefer these on the other side. Pry that up. There we go. And I'm going to go back to these little hearts that I have and just see if I want to add any of the little hearts anywhere. I like to look inside my camera sometimes I love this heart camera. Oh, yeah. Yes, yes. That was a good call. Okay, that's going to do it for me. And here is our cutest bug kit. Everything, really, you can see I added very little. I bring a background stamp in on these. I grab a little bit of bling out of my stash, which is honestly like a gift that I get to use up the bling that is in my stash. I don't know which bug is my favorite. They're all so cute. Even here would be another place to add another heart. Let's just see what we think of that. Since I have it, I can just kind of hover it over. I think that would be cute. Go ahead and pop that on there. Kind of like it. There we go. Okay. Just added a little bit more love to that. You can, of course, do so many things. Come in and add stickles to the little wings if you would like, and all those things. But really what I do is I grab a background stamp that I have in my stash when the layout can kind of get it and call for it. Sometimes there isn't any. And I just add a little bit of color using supplies I already have on hand, my inks, my stamps that I already own, bling from my stash, and these things go together so super cute. This one's just stupid cute, isn't it? I'm kind of obsessed with it. I'm a little obsessed with my little caterpillar there. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. We're really looking forward. We are one day away from our launch. I think I'm just over. Yeah, we have just I think it's 3:30, so I'm just over at the filming of this video. Now, that being said, by the time this video posts, we do scheduled posts, so it is possible that this will be after. So go ahead and check out our description, get the links to the website. I hope you guys are enjoying these. Maybe you want to remake all the sketches and you're just loving the sketches. We thank you for being with us on this. If you enjoyed this video, if you like the ideas, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. It really helps me out here in the YouTube community. And if you would like the file that has all my bugs in it, the design space file that has this in there, reach out to me and let me know. This is actually one that we are sharing in the group, this sketch with the versions that we have. So please feel free to just leave me a comment and I will share the link with you so that you can have fun and create these yourself. All right, everybody, have a great day. Bye-bye.